Have you ever tried communicating with someone only for them to be non-responsive, ignoring you, giving you the silent treatment? Stonewalling is when one withholds communication from someone, and it can happen for different reasons. We're going to go over them, but the effects can leave you feeling unseen, unheard, or unimportant. This is part 4 of the 4-part series where we cover Dr. John Gottman's 4 Horsemen of Relationships. We have covered criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and in this series finale, we'll be covering the 4th Horseman, Stonewalling. Now, there are different reasons as to why a person may stonewall. Okay, according to Dr. John Gottman, stonewalling is often a response to being held in contempt. Okay, this type of stonewalling involves withdrawing in order to escape emotional abuse. Okay, and I can absolutely see this happening in a relationship. Okay, if you're being held in contempt, if you are being insulted, personally attacked, emotionally abused, a natural response for someone would be to stonewall. Okay, in this kind of stonewalling, someone has become so exhausted with emotional abuse that they don't even have the emotional capacity left anymore to entertain that abuse, to respond to it. Okay, so they want to withdraw from that abuse, they want to escape it, so they kind of retreat inwards, right? And this is where a person just shuts down. They shut their partner out because they want to shut out the abuse. This is stonewalling according to Dr. Gottman's 4 Horsemen, and it can pretty much indicate the end of that relationship, okay? Not that the couple may separate or divorce right away, but a relationship can end long after, long before the couple even separates, okay? I've read stories about couples that are still married, still together years later, but that relationship died a long time ago. Okay, so that does happen. A relationship can end long before the two partners even separate. So let's talk about then the antidote to this kind of stonewalling. Stonewalling as a way to escape emotional abuse. Okay, so according to Dr. Gottman, the antidote to stonewalling is psychological self-soothing. Okay, so if someone is holding you in contempt, okay, stonewalling may seem like your last option, but you can't really stay in that state of stonewalling forever. So this is where you need to process your emotions so that you can contemplate and build up enough self-esteem to draw boundaries in this relationship. Okay, the emotional abuse needs to stop. Otherwise, you need to do everything to get out of this relationship. And that's a boundary that you need to communicate after you have taken the time to self-soothe. So a less severe situation might be if a couple argues a lot, okay, and it becomes normal for one or both partners to stonewall in the middle of an argument. The antidote of psychological self-soothing is effective here when it is communicated. Okay, so simply telling your partner, "Hey, let's take a step back. Let's take some time for our emotions to settle, and let's talk about this when we're calmer. Okay, in a healthy way." So that's one antidote to this less severe type of stonewalling. Okay, when two partners are engaged in an argument, just having that open space, that healthy communication, okay, communicating with each other that we need some time for our emotions to settle. Now, there is another type of stonewalling that I do want to cover, okay, and I think this needs to be addressed, and that is the silent treatment. Now, this form of stonewalling is not a response to emotional abuse, but rather it is a form of emotional abuse. Okay? The silent treatment holds no regard for your partner's feelings or well-being. It only aims to control, manipulate, punish, discard, or otherwise hurt somebody. Okay? It is a narcissistic trait. It is immature behavior, and it is a part of the narcissistic toolbox. Okay? The person giving the silent treatment is usually trying to draw a reaction from their partner. And when you're on the receiving end of the silent treatment, okay, you just want it to be over, right? So you may feel compelled to apologize, admit fault, and admit that you were wrong about something because their silent treatment just hurts you so much. And usually, this is what's intended behind the silent treatment. Okay, it does require some self-soothing because it's probably hurting you so much. It's stirring up all kinds of emotions because you just don't know what's going on. You don't know what your partner is feeling or thinking. It's frustrating. So if this is happening, try not to let that get to you. Okay, this form of stonewalling, this silent treatment intended to hurt somebody. Um, don't let it get to you to the point where you explode or admit fault unnecessarily or unnecessarily apologize, because again, someone with narcissistic tendencies, a deep narcissist, will use the silent treatment to get a reaction out of you, get an apology, an admission of guilt, whatever it is. It's a manipulative tool. Okay, so recognize what's happening here if you're on the receiving end of the silent treatment. Okay, take a step back, gather yourself, process your emotions. Okay, and then draw a boundary for yourself. Right, communicate your boundaries directly. And this is something you can say to your partner. Hey, I can't read your mind. Whatever this is about, we can talk it out when you're ready. And if they continue to give the silent treatment after sufficient time, I would suggest sticking to your boundaries and consider getting out of that relationship, because this form of stonewalling, the silent treatment, it is a form of emotional abuse. So I do want to add to Gottman's antidote of self-soothing. I would add that another ingredient to that antidote to stonewalling would be healthy communication in any of these situations. So that concludes part 4, and that concludes this series of Dr. Gottman's 4 Horsemen of Relationships. I hope this series was helpful, and I hope I brought some good into your life. If so, please like and subscribe, and please share your thoughts and your stories in the comments. Let's get the discussion going. If you think this video or this series might help somebody, please share it with them. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.